What's good, people? Jimmy Bones here. Just wanted to go over a couple of the negatives that I've noticed with the PS4 Pro. Really, there's only two that really stick out like a sore thumb. The first being that not everything is 4K 60, which most people could read into as it being a console, could see from a mile away that most games wouldn't be 4K 60, as it takes a lot of horsepower even on a PC, which could be well over $1,000 to do 4K 60 frames. So not every game is gonna be 4K 60, as we know now, with Sony getting closer to the release of it, releasing a lot more info being forced into it, basically not being able to run from certain questions and dodge certain answers, and just throwing out there that there was going to be a bigger leap in graphical fidelity and higher resolution and higher frame rates. The PC, the PS4 fanboys, the Xbox One fanboys will run around shouting, it's gonna do 4K 60, and you wasted your money buying a PC and PS4 Master Race, console Master Race, and whatnot. To those people that didn't really see logic, still a console at the end of the day, that it probably wouldn't do 4K 60 across the board, as a machine that's, as I said, over $1,000 still can't do. Most people should have known better. These forums and media sites, they're shouting, it's going to be, best console of all time. So we know now most games aren't going to be 4K 60 out of the box, definitely. Only, I think Sony released, it was 20 games that are getting a pro patch day one. It was a maximum of like 25 or 30. There's a lot of games we still haven't gotten info on that we don't even know if are getting pro patches or not. So it might be even your standard PS4 game that you've been playing for over 2-3 years, and you have a PS4 Pro beefier system, and the system doesn't take advantage of it, because we have to remember that the developer is the one that initiates the change and puts in the effort to optimize that game for the Pro. So if they don't want to touch the Pro, if they don't want to mess around with the Pro, you're going to have the same game that you had back on PS4, just the standard one. For example, the Order 1886, as of right now, is not getting a Pro patch. It was one of the best looking, it is one of the best looking console games of all time, probably in top 5, top 10, just basing it off this generation, which is probably the best console generation looking for games. We got Order 1886, Battlefield 1, Uncharted 4. Those are just a few that just thrown out there. The Order 1886 is definitely one of the best looking PS4 games, let alone one of the best console games of all time. Not getting a pro patch day one, so it's still going to be that 800p, technically 30 frames per second, but the game still looks flawless and amazing. Just the attention to detail and their aesthetic that they went with the game, and texture wise, the game looks amazing. GTA 5, we don't know if that's going to get a pro patch. Battlefield 1, we don't know if that's going to get a pro patch either. If anything, maybe GTA 5 could get 1080p 60. Rise of the Tomb Raider's got 1080p 60 along with 4K 30, which is great. We've got options there. Hopefully Rockstar can optimize GTA, go back and do GTA 5 over again, maybe, and just bump up that resolution and try and get it to 60 frames per second. But a bigger issue, or not necessarily an issue, but a bigger topic to me, and the automatic thought for Rockstar when it comes to the PS4 Pro, is that is Red Dead Redemption going to be native 1080p 60 frames per second on the PS4 Pro, and by the time the Xbox One Scorpio comes out next year, 1080p 60 on that console as well. That would be amazing to see Rockstar either bump up GTA 5 as well as Red Dead, or if Red Dead's already at 1080p 60, and if they come out and say, it's not going to be 60 and we're going to work on it, Rockstar's going to do what they want at the end of the day anyway. If they were to leave it at 30 or bump it up to 60, you can't really change that, because they're like the number one in like all of developers right now at the time. But that's pretty much it. Just those two, their resolution and frame rate. I definitely still take resolution over frame rate any day of the week. Hopefully Red Dead comes out and is 1080p 60 or higher. I'll always take a higher resolution as well as frame rate, but I'll take the frame rate over the resolution any day of the week. But that's pretty much it. Jimmy Bones here. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'm gone.